Hello, I am Fernanda Paiva, Hitchhiking Stars. Welcome. Let's have a conversation about the full moon. So there is a full moon happening right on the summer solstice in the northern hemisphere, or the winter solstice for the ones that are in the southern hemisphere like I am at the moment. So 21st of June 2024, there is a powerful full moon at 1 degree Capricorn. So is our Capricorn full moon, who happened right after, almost or practically right after the sun has entered Cancer. So the Cancerian season starts with a bang of a full moon energy. So as usual, full moons are combinations. So it's that point in the lunar cycle where things become very highlighted and very powerfully on our faces somehow. We can see something very clearly, and there is a tendency for the emotions to get very powerfully triggered as well. So if you have anything at the early degrees of Capricorn or the early degrees of Cancer as well, this could be a very powerful, personally speaking, a very powerful full moon for you. So with a very strong, powerful revelation here for you. So let's have a look at the chart as usual. Let's talk about the Sabian symbol for this full moon as well as usual. But in general, so let's get into the subject slowly. In general, this big release or this big understanding happens in the sign or with the flavor of the sign where the moon will be placed. So Capricorn. But because a full moon is in opposition, is while the moon is in one sign, the sun will be in the right opposite sign. There is a sense of balance, or bringing the balance, or the need to bring the balance between these two qualities of life. So the Capricorn full moon could be really revealing of something connected to our ambitions, to our hard work. What are we working hard to achieve? What kinds of achievements do you want to have? And more importantly as well, I think one of the key themes of this full moon in Capricorn that's happening on a solstice will be very much about the sort of work-life balance, that sort of personal life versus professional life imbalance. So if you're staying home too much, or if you're dedicating too much of your energy to your family, then this full moon will trigger something connected to that, and will be revealing something to you on, that a need for balance in that, where you need to reclaim your energy back and think about your individual goals a little bit more. But also, on the other side of the coin, if you are working a lot and you're spending a lot of your energy in the outer world, let's put it that way, and achieving things and making, turning your goals into reality and all of that, but you're forgetting your family life a little bit. You're forgetting a little bit, to spend quality time with your loved ones, or to spend some time at home, even if by yourself, having a little bit of downtime. I think, again, this full moon could be a big revelation around that. So maybe you get a bit sick and you really need to rest, and you're somehow forced to take some downtime that is long overdue for you. So I really feel that one of the key elements, or one of the key flavors of this full moon, will have something to do with this balance between what we want in the world and what we need in our personal lives, what we need in our domestic lives as well, in order to feel sustained and fed. As usual, I'm going to advise you to find out where is the early degrees of Capricorn and Cancer. So where is 1 degree Capricorn in your chart? Is that near your ascendant? Do you have any planets, especially the personal planets at those degrees? Because that will place this full moon in an area in your life, somewhere that's going to be more precise, and it will give you more clues about what kinds of revelation you can have. So always bringing back to the natal chart is going to give you more clarity about what this could be teaching you, could be showing you, or where the opportunities are as well. Now, let's talk about the Sabian symbol for this full moon before I dive into the chart of the full moon and some of the configurations that called my attention. So the Sabian symbol for 1 degree Capricorn is 3 stained glass windows in a Gothic church, and 1 is damaged by war. So it's a picture, an image of 3 windows in a church. I love stained glass windows, by the way. It's one of, I don't know why, I love it. I just think it's so pretty. And so picture this Gothic church with 3 of these beautiful stained glass windows, and 1 of them is broken. Now there are a few things, and especially it's damaged by war as well, right? So it's not just some kids that really wanted to do a prank or anything, or So there are a few things that come to mind when I think about this image. And obviously, as someone that practices constructive astrology, which is all about using these transits and using astrology and any of the other esoteric traditions for growth and to be life affirming rather than fear mongering. Obviously, I have almost like my eye trained to see opportunities and things. And even with this picture, I can see that out of 3 windows, we've got 1 damaged. We don't have 2 or 3 windows damaged. We just have 1. So I think this Sabian symbol can be talking about hope, renewing hope, or the sense that we're safe inside the church. The war has damaged only 1 of the 3 windows, and so that sense of renewing perhaps your hopes, or the sense of feeling protected, or reclaiming your spirituality as well could be another one. And that's actually a very interesting take here, because one of the tightest aspects that this full moon is making is a square to Neptune. Neptune is the planet that has a strong connection with churches and longings and faith and spirituality and transcendence of all kinds. So between the opposition and the tug of war that we have between the moon in Capricorn and the sun in Cancer, we have Neptune right at the midpoint between the two, right at the middle path. And this Neptune is at 29 degrees Pisces. Again, is an anaretic degree. It's a very powerful degree for a planet to be placed in. So that Neptune features strongly because it's at 29. But it also features strongly because it's part of this T square, this sort of this grand configuration right at the time of the full moon, and very much tied up to this full moon, So Neptune, the planet of churches and longings and transcendence and mystical experiences, has this very powerful presence here. And the Sabian symbol has a connection to the imagery of a church as well. So one of the things, like the immediate thing that I think about here, is that this full moon can give us the desire to transcend our situation in some way, to understand our situation from a larger, more spiritual or more spiritually inclined perspective. And it really, I think both the Sabian symbol as well as the picture itself, the Sabian symbol, the imagery, as well as this Neptune sort of presence here at the 29th degree of Pisces, seem to be really pulling us towards that direction a little bit. So the advice here of using this energy constructively is to get strong on your spiritual practices, doing rituals, dreaming about what you want, feeling your intuition, being open to receive insights on any sort of complex duality here that the full moon might be reflecting. So that split between, domestic life and etc., and your work life can be can be understood from this more creative and inspirational level, with that Neptune, and also with the stained glass windows sort of imagery as well, being inside that church, realizing that one of the windows is broken, but the other two are not, and that sense of being in this sort of holy space. There's something about that will be very important during this full moon. Neptune is also beginning to form a conjunction to Saturn. And I say beginning because it's still very far away. I mean, it's still a while to go. But there are, 10 degrees orb of separation between them at the time of the full moon. So I think that's something that we can start feeling. We can start feeling already from somewhere. And again, these two energies are so different. We think about Saturn, we think about structures, walls, something that's quite realistic and skeptical and practical. And then with Neptune, which is the planet, as I said, of longings and transcendence and dissolving boundaries. So when these two connect in the sky, when these two meet in the sky, there is an opportunity to balance these two levels of existence, giving structure to your dreams, capturing your transcendent experiences in some way. So this is something that can become very present in our lives in the next couple of years as well. But I think this full moon is already giving us an opportunity to get in touch with it, to feel it, to feel it in our lives as well, and however it is manifesting in our life as well at this moment. So that's one of the big influences here and energies. So that energy of Neptune. But also there is another side to this full moon, and I think in particular after a few days after the full moon, when we start digesting and integrating the insights that we have, which can be really taken into the more practical levels of life. And I think that's something that Capricorn can be really good at as an earth sign, and that moon will be forming a trine to Mars in Taurus after the full moon. So I think we can have some realizations during this full moon that we can use in a very practical way after, and we can use it to put things into place, to create things, to make things happen, to build something. I think that's the word I'm looking for. It is building, because that's the energy of Mars in Taurus, is building. So we can have insights, intuitive insights, with that Neptune, with the Sun, Venus, and Mercury in Cancer as well, which is a water sign. And then that moon in Capricorn and Mars in Taurus can sort of build something with it, from it as well. So there's potential to bring something that we realize at the time of this full moon, that we can bring to fruition, that we can make it real, we can really apply into the real world somehow. So that's it, really. Be awake and experience this energy of this full moon in the most constructive way possible, so you can use whatever comes up to you in a practical way later. You can build something, you can bring something to fruition in your life, you can add something, add more value to your life somehow. All right, so that's it. I'm wishing you all a wonderful, beautiful, magical full moon in Capricorn at the time of the solstice. I'm sure many of you are going to be doing beautiful rituals as well. So I hope this information was useful, so you can apply that, you can bring that into your rituals as well. So that's it. I will be speaking to you all soon.